President Obama always says that we are the change we've been waiting for. What kind of Nigeria do I want for myself? What kind of Nigeria do I want for my generation? What does NYPF, Nigerian Young Professionals Forum, is going to do for us? Let me tell you this. The Nigerian Young Professionals Forum, as we have envisioned it, is a platform that we want to use in engaging every young professionals here in the United States. So, whether you live in Texas...
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I feel so excited that the dreams and aspirations of the Nigerian Young Professionals Forum is being driven by young people. The NYPF is a platform for young people to galvanize their strength, their knowledge, bringing expertise and professionalism to bear towards nation building. We have no reason to do what we are doing. The only reason we have, because we are seen as trustees of prosperity. The future of our nation lies in our hands. So if we fold our hands without working constructively to ensure that we safeguard our future, posterity will not be happy with us. And that's why we're doing what we're doing today. Today, we're in 15 countries, and we have united over 13 million young professionals, both home and abroad. I was telling my coordinator here that I wouldn't have met him without NYPF. So it's a platform for us to network and meet young people that are engaging in productive ventures. Back home, we understand that we have challenges. As I've said in the documentary that you guys just watched, it is very important for young people to take up this challenge. There's a lot of opportunity back home. One thing I've told NYPF members not to do is for them not to castigate and rain abuses towards their nation. Because if you abuse your leaders, if you rain abuses on your nation, the outsiders that are hosting us today will form an opinion about us. That's why most times when you go to the airport, we are subjected to humiliation because of what we have said with our lips. We don't look at the problems, we look at the opportunities, and we prefer solution. And that's why today, NYPF is the #1 young people's organization in Nigeria. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we started a program, a series of campaign that is geared towards reshaping and revamping our social economic problems and political problems that we have as a nation. Talking about national integration. We all know what is going on in our country today in terms of the religion and ethnic sentiments that have been on the front burner of our nation politics. We all understand what is going on today in Nigeria, where there is no fair employment policies for those who are qualified to handle sensitive positions. But today, the NYPF have come up to stand on behalf of that gap, to ensure that we engage young people who are positive-minded towards economic growth and the political process. We just rounded off our international summit. In 3 months, we went around all the regions of Nigeria, mobilizing young people for change. Because we believe that 35% of those who are adding qualitative value to the process of growth back home, they are young people. If you look at it, we actually engaged in some research last year, and we discovered that those people that are helping the government to project the image and also to advance the cause of the President Jonathan's administration agenda, they are very young people who are holding sensitive positions. So today, we are in the US for a reason, to also fill in that gap, to mobilize young people who are ready to share the same concern and ideology with us in ensuring that we safeguard our future. We have also collectively set up steps on how we can galvanize the opportunities we have in Nigeria. Today, government is doing a lot in engaging young people in terms of the initiatives that President Jonathan has come up with, talking about the UWIN program, the Project Nollywood program, and so many other scholarship programs. And we discovered that no government since the inception of Nigeria have actually carried out youth development initiative like what this government, present administration has done. So we must commend the efforts of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. He's our president and is the custodian of the sovereignty called Nigeria. Any policy that President Jonathan comes up with, it affects me and my family positively or negatively. So we must work constructively as young people to reshape and guide this present administration. And that's why I keep telling people that NYPF does not work for government. We work with government as an NGO. We're a non-governmental organization. We must work with government to ensure that the policies that they come up with does not affect us as young people negatively.
Alhaji Dr. Mukhtar Ramalan Yero, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State.
As you all know, Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world endowed with not just abundant natural resources, but also the requisite human capital necessary for sustainable growth. Consequently, it is imperative to deliberate on means of creating opportunities for young people to access capital, because they are the major drivers of the economy. It is a fact that government alone cannot create sufficient jobs for all. Hence, there is urgent need for financial institutions to introduce flexible means of providing funds for new businesses to thrive. Many young professionals have met impediments in their quest to establish private enterprises due to difficulties in accessing adequate finance for their projects. I believe the time has come for banks and other financial institutions to review collateral requirements in the case of loans granted to new young professionals seeking to establish new ventures. It is not sufficient to have big banks without commensurate growth in economic growth, which is measured on productivity and job creation. The most important asset of young professionals are their ideas. Majority of young people have not sufficient assets needed as collateral for loans. This is a major obstacle in exploiting their capabilities in terms of establishing private firms. This may require a special approach in providing access to finance that specifically target young professionals seeking to do viable businesses. As you are already aware, the federal government of Nigeria has, under the able leadership of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, initiated various policies and programs that directly target young professionals. For instance, the UWIN program has succeeded in actualizing dreams of many young people in the country. This is commendable and a step in the right direction. Furthermore, young professionals must also realize the importance of skills to national development. One of the emerging challenges of the global pre-market policy is the need for people to be multi-skilled to fit into the ever-steepening competition. Paper qualification alone can no longer sustain our economy. In addition, our people must possess some form of skills to sufficiently fit into the requirement of modern economic atmosphere. This challenge has aggravated the high rate of unemployment in our country because the economy now requires functional education, not just paper qualification. Consequently, we must direct attention to reviewing the present education policy in order to incubate a younger population with technical expertise to drive the economy. We must de-emphasize paper qualification and concentrate on imbuing expertise in our people. It is incontrovertible that no nation has ever grown beyond the physical and intellectual capacity of its workforce. Nigeria cannot afford to lag behind in a world that is on the fast lane of technology advancement.
Went in as a student and then started teaching and then had my foray into politics about 4 years ago. So I still have that connection with the youth. So I'm going to speak quickly because I've made some points here. The first thing to say is in reference to the MC, when we talked about the old people vacating their seats and then allowing the young ones to come take over, just to say that will never happen. It's not realistic to expect an old man, now old, okay, I turned 55 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to vacate my seat for Moses to take over. No. You still have to do something. We need the idealism of youth to stimulate development. We do. But I'll give you the anecdote of the dog. I teach oral literature, so. Now you see, dog, all the animals decided that you should kill the elders. All the old ones should be killed, all their parents should be killed, because with them society doesn't move. I'm sure Professor Defley is very familiar with this. All the animals did, but dog did something. He hid his father somewhere, up in heaven. And then when the young person started having challenges, then when dog would just go to the father, Dad, and the father would give him advice. He would come back and then tell the young people, and of course they will listen and something positive will happen. On a certain day they called dog. What happened? How did you get such beautiful advice? He said, from my dad. Your dad? He's alive? He said, yes, please bring him. And then he was made the leader of the community. There's a counter to that, I'm sure, when the young people do that. So you need the wisdom of the elders to guide the idealism of the youth. I said too, that nobody but us can develop our society. I would like to make that as the first bullet point. And then the second is that we need the idealism of youth. Oh yes, we do. There's an age you get to, perhaps become laid back, no longer stimulated by challenges. But there's young people who have wonderful, fertile imagination, sometimes almost naive, think that it can change the world. So what we do as persons who have some experience is to channel this idealism into things that are positive. Now, when we talk about youth, sometimes how do you define that person who is young? There was this day, I walked into the room and the music that was being played, this is relatively old now. Who let the dogs out? Who? And my kids were dancing, And I said, why should we dance to who let the dogs out? But you see, that's what they connect with, all right? Of course, music has moved now, rap music and all. So for me to key into the mind of the youth, I also listen to their music. All right, so, which means that there has to be a meeting point between the idealism of youth and those persons who have gone past the age of youth, so to speak. I suppose when we talk about harnessing potentials of young Nigerians, we're talking about potentials in education, in administration, ICT, all right, and as young persons who can build bridges, all kinds of bridges, all right, you don't have hang-ups. You meet somebody first time and within 10 minutes you know each other, you started talking, you downloaded all information that you need. So we need that. Now, but I'd like to pose a crucial question, which is, when we talk about handing over to the youth, working with the youth, let's ask this question: who?
You know, I would love to stand, and the protocols already established. Your Excellency, the Governor, I thank you very much for the strong help you've been doing. I pray the governors have been like you in supporting young people. I also thank the presence of Honorable Commissioner Egada on behalf of the Delta State Government. I thank Professor Joy Ugu and Professor Adefie for the good work they are doing. Even though I know very well they are very, very constrained and challenged. I came here some while ago when I felt our country was being disparaged by the activities of lobbyists. And then I'm very happy to see quite a lot of you here tonight, and I believe this should mark the beginning of efforts to synergize and do the things I've always felt we should do. To synergize and bring pressure on governments in North America so that when they act towards Nigeria, they act in regard to your interests. That is not happening yet, and I'm happy to see a lot of you here. Our country is doing well in recent past. We've become, after the audit of just 3 markets in our economy, the largest economy in Africa by GDP. Those markets are banking, telecom, and entertainment, which of course became very big because of the availability of democracy and the freedom it brought. Under dictatorship, entertainment was not there. The soldiers never appreciated the arts. Today we're doing well, and we're hearing good news about our army's ability to smoke out the Boko Haram. I am very pleased with such news since I've come to the United States. But you see, our country is said to be growing at about, it makes 35% in returns on investment, which is about one of the very best on earth. But that growth, I want to tell you people, is not inclusive. It's not inclusive because of the legacy programs that we've had in country. And I believe those are the things you must stand up to. Our country is one of the very biggest countries on earth that undermines the interests of young people on earth. Nigeria has humanity's largest concentration of children without access to formal education, according to UNESCO. We are followed in this very dubious record by Pakistan for the same reasons. In northern Nigeria, you have what you call the Al-Majri system. In Pakistan, you have the madrasas. If you have the growth that it comes this way and is not inclusive, those children that are not included in the growth pattern will remain, as far as I'm concerned, an existential threat to Nigeria's progress going forward. If you have so much children without access or the ability to be employed and engaged in a growing economy, me and you cannot sleep with our eyes closed. These are some of the things that I beg upon government and governors to please set purpose to correct. Tomorrow belongs to the young, but of course we cannot force them out, as Professor have just said. You know why? Ours is a patriarchal system. In northern Nigeria, when you talk, they'll ask you, why not Obanka? Who is your father? The old people will not go away. The only way we can do to gain advantage is to force the country to become a country that is run on merit. If we become a country that's run on merit, the young who constitute the largest pool of educated persons in Africa, will take over our country and actually will do very well. We are blessed. We have the best country. This is the very best time to be born a Nigerian. We are growing at a pace that's unmatched by any other country in Africa. Markets that are still not free include petroleum and electricity that have just been privatized. I believe in the next few years, electricity will become as efficiently run as telecoms is. And when that comes, our country will grow and grow and grow. I have been amongst the persons on television campaigning for removal of subsidy. Subsidy is nothing but government intrusion in the petroleum market. It distorts the market. It undermines the ability of young people to get employed, because if you remove subsidy, industry will definitely come to Nigeria to build the beneficiation facilities that will provide more job for young people. From there, you will have several byproducts that will come from the local refining of crude in Nigeria.
After all we heard about those of us who have lost the virtue of being called youth, after all I've heard that we should quit the stage, I thought we should give some more time to make some brief remarks. But on a serious note, let me say that I'm very much impressed with the activities of Young Nigerian Professionals Forum. I knew Moses Sasia for quite some time, and I can attest to his drive and his ability to ensure the attainment of any objective he has set himself for. I was actually persuaded to be here by Governor Godswill Akpabio to the point of missing an important appointment with number one citizens of this country today. But I think listening to what has been happening today is really worth it. Let me say that I very much identify myself with the objectives of NYPF for the simple reason that the objective you set for yourself, harnessing the potential of the country for rapid development, economic development, assumes quite a number of things. That we have the potentials. All we need to do is to live up to our potentials and use our maximize our potentials to create a better country in Nigeria. And the youth should be in the vanguard of all this. And this is what's happening all over the world. You could see that the age of presidents has been changing. Look at what's happening in the UK. Look at what's happening in here. Look at what's happening even in Nigeria. All those those old fellows are quitting for the young ones with the drive. But then, as Professor Gara said, you still need some wisdom of the old to mix with the idealism of youth. But I guess we can combine both effectively in Nigeria. And there's every reason to believe that what is being said is correct. Because look at Nigeria. When Professor Jega started NYSC and decided to use fellow graduates from NYSC and when as working at INEC, decided to use NYSC graduates as polling officers. That was when we had one of the best conducted elections so far in Nigeria in 2011. And you cannot underestimate the importance of that because of a very well conducted election that's free, fair, and credible. And because of the fact that it has now been proven that you cannot rig elections anymore, and that because of the fact that democracy has its dividends, it became clear to all our governors that when you are in office, you're only there for 4 years, and that since nobody can rig elections for you, you really have to perform to be able to earn the election. And that has galvanized our governors. Everybody now, when you are elected, you are going to fashion out to see, to pay homage to see, learn from him what he has been doing. And you cannot underestimate the importance of that to our national development. Ever since then, you will see all states be competing again among themselves to see which government is doing best. I've done this, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. And so that's very important. And that's one solid contribution the youth can make. Trade and investment, we are the number one leading country for trade in Africa. So all those things, the American government themselves know that for a country like Nigeria, what is best, what is suited for the country is what is called continuity. Continuity of the programs which the President Jonathan administration is doing. And you must all contribute towards that. Yes, we cannot say we have a faultless government. No country, no government is perfect anywhere in the world. But this government has faced most directly the fundamental defects in our body politics, in our economy, in our society, and is doing all its best in its power to tackle them with the most efficiency you can imagine. And therefore, it requires the support of you professionals to demonstrate, contribute your own quota, to make sure that we have a country that you all be proud of. We are on our way to success and glory. We need the contribution of people like you. You make your ways here. Many of you are very bright. And each time I come here, when I hear them talking, I always listen. Thank God I'm also a professor. But they have all kinds of theories, they know what they do, and they have good ideas. And what is really important, and seriously, listen to this, there are many of them, they made their mark. Here in the US, they made their mark, they've done very well, they are young people, and they don't want any government office or not. All they want is an opportunity to give back to their country. You need to contact many of them here and listen to them, walk through Naidu, and many of them are young like you. They want to go back and give back to their country. That is patriotism. There's something about Nigerians. We woke up this morning, when you see Nigerians, they criticize their government, they do everything, you talk as if they don't like their country. But let one Ghanaian come in there and put his mouth there. Then they tell you, put your mouth, go away. They're not talking about you. There's that patriotism. If we abuse, you criticize leaders, but the following morning, the first thing we do is to go and read newspaper on what's happening in Nigeria. And you have many of them. Look at the day Nigeria is going to play any soccer match. When Nigeria loses, it's as if their day is gone. So there is that patriotism. It's there. It's just willing to be tapped. We have all the resources. We have all the resources to make it. And you have a government that is committed to us making Nigeria a better place for all of us. So by the grace of God, we are going to achieve it. And that's why I follow very much in support of the ideas of the Nigerian Young Professional Forum, and I want to play in support of my mission. Unfortunately for me, I forgot to mention it. Abibu, where are you? The Consul General for Nigeria, the Consul General for Nigeria in New York is here. He just came a few minutes ago. And his office is there to deal with all your immigration problems and whatever problems you need. Whereas in Washington and Atlanta, we're ready to deal with all the problems as much as we can. But be assured, you have a government that's determined to build a better Nigeria, that is very much committed towards doing that. And you have the embassy here willing to be of help to you in everything you want to do to make Nigeria a better place for all of us. Thank you.
I want to thank especially the champions and the supporters of this movement. You know, in the politics of science, which is called political science, there are indices of power. What makes a country, a sovereign state, powerful? What do we do with this population? It's a decision, it's a choice that we have to make. If we reinforce this population and make it healthy and educated, then it becomes a strategic national asset. If we fail to do so, if we choose not to do so, then that population becomes a liability and a minus. What do we want? The Moses of this movement has reiterated many times that this must be a strategic national asset. But I just want to draw one or two lessons from all that has been said here tonight. One, the young professionals must link up with the rest of the world, because at the UN Forum where I serve, the Secretary General, in collaboration with member states, has appointed a special envoy for youth. And you can begin this through ECOSOC, the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. You must have a presence within the UN Forum. The second lesson that I want to leave for you as food for thought, and I think all the speakers have made some kind of reference to it, that is character building. As you go on with this movement, don't forget the most rudimentary. I don't hear about Boy Scouts anymore. I don't hear about brownies anymore. I don't hear about Girl Guides anymore. In the 50s in Port Harcourt, on Agri Road, American Baptist Day School, that's where I was trained for the future. We don't have colonialists anymore to train children. It is in your hands if you've started this movement. It is in your hands to train succeeding generations. Catch them young in school, because your NGO will now become an interest group to exert pressure on the political process. That is your power. When I was growing up, even at the age of 9, the Queen was going to visit Nigeria in 1956. In 1955, I was recruited as a brownie, and we were given 1 year's training. When the Queen arrived in 1956, April, at the stadium in Port Harcourt, we were keeping law and order. You can imagine a 10-year-old child, not quite 10, but nearly 10. No elderly man asked, "What's wrong with you?" Once they see you in uniform with a whip, you kept them behind the barricades. We were taught the virtues of honor, the virtues of integrity, the virtues of civility, resilience, the spirit of service, discipline, hard work. Those values that we talked about this evening that are no longer prevalent in our society, you can only do it by instilling it in children when they are young. We kept law and order, and there were no events, negative events in that stadium. I want to leave you with a personal story. 54 years later, the same Queen Elizabeth visited the United Nations, and she wanted to meet members of the Security Council. Yours truly was the President of the Security Council. The British approached me and I accepted. And I told the Queen the story. She said, "You must have been a little girl then." She too was a young woman then. But just to say that there is a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will. This is Shakespeare's Hamlet. I hope that this gives you hope, that all is not lost, and that you can reshape the future.
Yes.
And thank you.
President of the Joy Youth Council worldwide.
So tell us more about your organization.
Well, the Joy Youth Council, if you know the topography of Nigeria very well, it's the umbrella organization for Ijaws in Nigeria. And Ijaws predominantly make the majority of Niger Deltans. In fact, the Ijaws are the 4th largest ethnic nationality in Nigeria. And we span from Akwa Ibom on the eastern flank to Arugbo on the western flank. So we have about 6 states in the Niger Delta where Ijaws are predominant. And the Joy Youth Council is the umbrella organization for, molding and articulating and protecting the rights and welfare of the Ijaws. If you read about the Niger Delta a lot, you would have heard about the amnesty program, the agitation that have been taking place in the Niger Delta. All that fall within the purview of the IYC, the Joy Youth Council. And so our duty as leaders is to channel the energies of young people towards productive ends. And today, I am the president of the organization. I was one time Secretary General. While I was Secretary General was when we articulated the amnesty program. I was in fact the secretary of the process. We felt that there was too much bloodshed in the region, there was too much agitation in the region, and for every society to make progress, there has to be peace. And so we started the peace initiative in the Niger Delta that eventually led to mopping up arms, and eventually young people came under the amnesty that was proclaimed by the late president. Today we have over 30,000 of those young people being trained all over the world. And so I am president today. My duty is to see how we can harness the energies of the young people, build capacity of these people so that they can be productive to society.
Do you feel that attending the NYPF forum this evening, do you feel that questions were answered? Do you feel that the panel speakers spoke about topics that Nigerians want answers to, young professionals want and need answers to?
Well, very candid. The NYPF did their bit, but I don't think that they actually dealt with the issues as hungry as I was seeing. Young people that I saw here, Nigerians that attended this program, are hungry for answers to questions. Burning questions that affect the economy, burning questions that affect youth development, burning questions that affect security in Nigeria. And for me, I felt that first of all, the embassy should have organized a town hall meeting, especially in the last 1 week where we had the president of Nigeria. It should have been a forum for the president to interact with Nigerians abroad. And so the embassy going forward must ensure that it begin to organize programs that will bring leaders of Nigeria to the table for young Nigerians to ask them questions in order for us to know where we are going to. Going by what was going on here, you could see that a lot of young people are not informed, a lot of young people are not properly educated about the true reality of what is going on in Nigeria. And so you need, at every point in time, an informed audience to educate our people. And so for me, time itself was not on their side. Going forward, when you gather people like this, you must give enough room for people to express themselves, and the panelists must be prepared, must be enlightened, must be educated, must be informed to the point where they give the right answers. Otherwise, you lost the very essence of the gathering in the first place. We are gathering young professionals who are doing well in their various businesses here in America and other parts of the world. If you must woo them back to Nigeria, then you must be able to give them cogent reasons why they should come back in terms of security, in terms of economy, in terms of the environment. You must have the information, the legal issues, to ensure that when they come back home, they will be well placed, to continue from where they had left, from wherever country they have found themselves. Abroad here is where you get the best of capacity. All we are saying is bring that capacity to bear in order for our nation to move forward. But in doing that, those of us back home, politicians back home, must also create the enabling environment to accept those who will come back to the country.
Thank you so much. To find out what's important for the youth of tomorrow and the young leaders to be a part of the conversation.
Well, because they are the trustees of the future, not only the future but the wealth of the nation. They constitute part of the succeeding generation. We're not going to be here forever, so we have to hand over the baton to them, but on their own initiative, they have sought to mobilize themselves to be in a state of preparedness for the future. And well, it is the vision of, they're all hungry and thirsty for participation in the system, but some are inspired to lead them, to take the initiative, and that's what we see here today, that they have been organized and mobilized, and their consciousness has been raised regarding not only their responsibilities, but also their obligations to the state, not only about their rights, but about duties to the state.
Thank you so much for your time. Such a pleasure. NYPF. The topic of tonight's discussion was mobilizing the youth to bring the diaspora back to Nigeria. What policies are being implemented to take this action further?
First of all, the NYPF, the Nigerian Young Professionals Forum, is an intervention movement whereby we want to bring everybody. It's a platform for network, there's a platform for capacity building, there's a platform for social responsibility, there's a platform for content and character development. So we are mobilizing people globally to come and share in this movement, to come and partake in this movement, to come and harness the capacity of people in diaspora, the Nigerians in diaspora, to come home to develop our country.
A lot of diasporians have apprehension regarding corruption and policies that are taking place in Nigeria. What are you guys doing to calm that and to reassure the diaspora that you guys are championing for their success and also the development of Nigeria?
You see, when you talk about corruption, corruption is a thing of the mind. What we are doing is to approach the National Assembly to ensure that we build institutions. Because in Nigeria, you discover that we celebrate individuals. So what we are trying to change the mindsets of people for them to see the need to build institution. And that is why we have a legal arm. They are compiling bills to present to the National Assembly, whereby we initiate bills that will lead to building institutions, to eliminating loopholes, to filling the gaps where corruption can take place.
Connecting with the UN General Assembly, what platform has been given to young professionals to provide their voice and also speak out regarding issues and concerns that they have?
That is why we're here, to actually see the potentials, where we can actually tap into the potentials of the young professionals in the United States of America, so that we can, encourage them. That is why we inaugurated the chapter today, to encourage them to partake in activities that has to do with Nigeria and has to do with the interest of Nigeria in America. And the UN is inclusive. We're kind of mobilizing the young professionals in America to ensure that to let their voice heard, so that people can know what they are doing in the United States of America. When you look at America, you discover that most Nigerians here are doing well. Forget about the bad name and the bad name some of the bad eggs have actually cost. But in general, you discover that Nigerians are doing well. They are in all sectors: medical, economy, business, what have you, name them. They are in all sectors and they are performing well. And we are glad that we are here to inaugurate this chapter. And God willing, in no time, it's going to be a household name in the United States of America.
My name is Okemfe Liberty, and I'm the U.S. coordinator for the Nigerian Young Professional Forum.
Why is it important to have a discussion and dialogue with young professionals of Nigeria and the diaspora here?
When it comes to young Nigerian professionals, there are a lot of cynicism that is going on. There is this idea that nothing is happening. There is this idea, or there is this belief that Nigeria hasn't been to the level of where it needs to be. And as a result of these issues, they've been disillusioned. And so we at the Nigerian Young Professionals Forum believe that it is important to step back and realize that for Nigeria to actually grow, that for Nigeria to actually move forward, that for the collective ideas and aspirations that us as Nigerian professionals have, we have to take a step back, have a forum, and have a discussion on actually what is going to take to move the country forward, because nobody is going to do it for us. We have to do it by ourselves. The changes begins from us. So this is
Here with one of the attendees. You asked a question this evening. Tell us your question.
Well, my question pretty much was for the governor of Kaduna State. He's the governor of one of the northeastern states in Nigeria, so I wanted to find out what he knows about trying to bring back our girls and the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. But unfortunately, at the end of the night, we really didn't get a better answer because he wanted the federal government to be in the best position to speak about that.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, sometimes it's it's a difficult feeling when certain answers you need, you don't have them. But at the end of the day, I think the most important reason I asked the question was so that the diaspora here would be able to get a better understanding of what's happening on ground in Nigeria with regards to Bring Back Our Girls campaign, because there's a whole lot of news we hear on the media every day, and we're not really sure about that. So it's good to get first-hand information directly from someone who's the governor of a state. So that's the reason I asked the question. But
as a diasporian, do you feel that social media is connecting you to Nigeria to receive the information that you need or want?
yes, definitely. I think social media has really been a great tool in connecting Nigerians everywhere they are, and the social activism of Nigerians is also increasing by the day. The Bring Back Our Girls campaign, although I knew that so many girls were kidnapped, but I never really got into it until the Bring Back Our Girls campaign came up on social media. And so, yes, with that, I think it's a very positive avenue for Nigerians, no matter where they are, to coalesce in terms of moving forward development in the country.
Do you feel the initiative of Bring Back Our Girls, do you think that's a government matter, a social matter?
I think it's collective. It's both government and it's both social. Why the people can't go to the forest or go to the bushes to bring the girls out, the government has a responsibility of getting the military to do that. So I think why the government is trying to do that, figure out a military and a diplomatic political solution to it, I also think that society needs to step up the pressure so that government must understand the need to continue to ensure that we get positive result as it comes to Bring Back Our Girls.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Standing with two attendees here, they got up and was very brave and asked questions. What was your question that you asked?
Basically, to sum up my question, I wanted to know, I come to a lot of these events, and I wanted to know what systems are in place to make sure that the ideas generated here are actually implemented in Africa or Nigeria.
Was your question answered?
No, it was not.
So what would you have liked to have heard, or what would you like to have been provided with answers, or at least maybe grace over the topic?
Well, what I can say was done, which I haven't seen done, is that people were actually allowed access to the presenters, so you can get their contact information. And I've done that before too, and a lot of times they get inundated with so many business cards, they forget who's who, they don't respond. So I think that there should be some type of system in place, whether it's like a question bank where everyone provides their information, or something, or they have a liaison that actually reaches out to people, to attendees that come, and find out, what they're doing, how, at least a survey even, what they're doing, how the forum might have changed their perspective, and just something, another way to keep in contact, basically.
And also you asked a question as well. What was your question this evening?
My question was regarding the allocation of contracts. A lot of times we bring in outside contractors from other countries to work on particular projects, and I wanted to know, was there anything specific in terms of making sure that some of those contracts were employing, like some of those contractors were employing Nigerians?
Was your question answered?
No, it was not.
Okay. Would you ladies, if there was a town hall meeting called, would you sit on the panel? Would you speak at that? Or how can that become a platform for other young professionals such as yourself, especially women?
Yeah, I would definitely speak on a panel about, some of the issues that we think and we know about going on in Nigeria, and provide solutions, because that really is what it's about. It's not just about asking questions, it's about coming up with solutions and figuring out how we can work together to solve the problem.
Thank you so much. Here at the NYPF Forum with the chairman and CEO. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity and this dialogue. Why is it important for the diaspora to connect with Nigeria? Why is it important for you to have this platform and dialogue for young professionals?
It's very critical and very imperative that young people all over the world are looking for change. You could see what's going on in the global world today. Young people are engaging in positive and also negative activities with the advent of the social media and also the movers and shakers of the global world economy. They are less than 35 years. You're talking about the Facebooks, the Googles of this world, and Africa is very critical to the advancement and economic growth all over the world. So as Nigerians, we have been nourished by a generation of broken promises. The future and the destiny of the country lies in our hands as young people. So we must network, we must come together as young people, we must show some level of professionalism, bringing our knowledge to bear, and also to foster growth and development in our nation, Nigeria. So that's why today we have networked over 13 million professionals globally. Thank you very much. We're present in 15 countries, and today we're in the United States of America to inaugurate the Nigerian Young Professionals Forum here. So what we're doing is to galvanize the potentials of young people for accelerated development back home in our nation. Because we believe that we have a role to play as young people, and also to bring about those who have acquired some level of knowledge in their various countries where they reside. People who live here can also provide solutions back home. Some who wants to move back to Nigeria will create that enabling environment for them, using our networks, using our platforms, so that they can strive to contribute to their fatherland. So today you can see the excitement. Young people are looking for direction. They are very excited that this initiative has come to the United States and is a platform for change and is a platform for us to use, in bringing about the much-needed development to our people who have been disillusioned and impoverished by successive government. So we are here today, and it's given me so much joy that we are making history. And thank you for coming.
Thank
you for being part of the history.
Thank you so much.